Hey friends, it's Cassie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be celebrating Keionna the Krafttherapist's 1,000 subscriber milestone with a reverse hop. And you might be wondering what that is. What that means is she is going to be guesting on a few different channels. I'm actually number 3 in the lineup. Last week was from Jamie's channel and next week will be Miranda's. But with her celebration hop, she is celebrating, I think it's 5 Saturdays from July 25th through August 22nd, and there is a winner for each week. Each participant is asked to enter by being subscribed to Keionna's channel, as well as leave a comment. The prize each week will be a $100 gift card to a crafting store, and a winner will be announced during the following week's video, and prizes must be claimed prior to the airing of the next video by emailing Keionna at the address listed down below in the description box, and I'll have all the rest of the information down there as well. But let's get into her video.
Well, hello, all of my crafty friends. Today I am bringing you guys another installment for my reverse hop. This is week number 3, and I am going to be using this Brutus Monroe Rainbow Dreams kit. This kit was chocked full of things. I'm going to be using this peace sign, and I'm going to use this little van thingy. I don't remember the name of it. And I'm going to use this awesome stamp set because I liked all of the little elements in there. So to get started, I have brought out 2 pieces of my Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I am going to be using some of the neon colors from the Karin Brush Pro markers. Now, all of the colors are neon with the exception of the red. It looked a little too orange to me, so I decided that I was going to go into the regular Karin Brush Pro markers and pull out a red for that one. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to start making some lines of color, and then I'm going to bring in some water. And what I'm doing is I just want to make a light rainbow background on the back of these 2 panels, and I want to get them to blend together. Now, initially, I'm not quite sure why. I was having a little bit of trouble with the blending, but after a minute, it started working out really well. I'm not sure if I let it sit too long or what was going on. One panel was blending perfect. The other panel was giving me a little bit of hard time. You can see the panel over on the right. I had to work with that one a little bit more, but in the end, it all came out really, really well. Now, once I get done with all of our rainbow background color, this will dry back a little bit. I sat it off to the side. I brought in my Misty with some Neenah Solar White Classic Crest 80 pound, and I am going to start stamping out some of my images. I want both the male and the female from the stamp set, as well as this little van, which I thought was super, super cute. Once we get that stamped down, then we will be moving on to our next part, which will be our coloring. And while I'm doing the coloring, I'm just going to give you guys a little reminder. As you guys know, we have been doing my reverse hop to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. Every week I'm hopping on to another channel. Last week I was on the channel for Jamie, who's the owner of Not Too Shabby. Next week I will be on the channel of Miranda, who is the owner of Multiplicity Crafts. Every week I will be announcing a winner from the previous week, and you can I was going to say apply. You can enter the giveaway each week using the Rafflecopter linked below. All I ask is that you leave a comment, that you share some of the love, become a subscriber, and I will let you guys know each week who's the winner from the previous week. If you guys will look in the description box below, you will find out who was the winner from last week's when I did my card on Jamie's channel. Now I will have 2 additional weeks of giveaways to round it out, and I am so grateful to Cassie and all of my friends for allowing me to come and have a takeover on their channel to say thank you not only to my current subscribers but to this community as a whole for being so amazing, welcoming me in. I have been doing YouTube seriously for the last 6 months. I guess it's 7 now. I began in January, and it has been an amazing journey, and I have never found a community of people that have been so warm, welcoming, positive, and willing to help. And for that, I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. So make sure that you go over to Rafflecopter and do your entry, and then hop along with me to the next stop. Each week you have a chance to win again. It is 5 weeks, 5 giveaways. So I hope that you guys are one of my lucky winners. Good luck, and I will hope to be seeing you guys really a lot over these next couple months, hopefully years. I plan to be around for a while. So I'm going to get back to talking to you guys a little bit about the coloring. I'm coloring in the male's beard and his hair, which is all connected, by the way. And I was a little bit concerned when I was doing him. It all turned out well, but it was one of those situations where you begin to color something, and as you're doing it, you have a vision in your head, and it does not come out the same way as you had it in your mind. And so you have to keep working with it, walk away sometimes and come back and look at it again. Because when I walked away and looked at it a second time, his skin and hair looked better. And I guess it probably was good that I colored in his eyes. I completely forgot about that for a while I was doing the coloring, which is another indication that you're too close to the situation. So I'm going ahead and I'm coloring in her skin. I gave her more of a blonde hair tone, and I wanted to give her a little bit more of a fair skin tone than I gave to him. And I am going to go ahead and try to add in a little bit of creativity with her, because these images are pretty straightforwardly colored, and I like those type of images because it gives you a little bit more creative license to add whatever features you would like to add to the skin. I did not take a lot of creativity or creative liberties with these images, just simply because I was a chicken. That was it. I was just a chicken. I didn't want to mess it up because I was doing 5 videos at the same time. So I did not want to mess that up in any way. And that's why I was a little bit concerned, and you'll maybe see here. Let me know what you think. When I started doing his skin, I was worried. I was like, did I pick the wrong hair color to go with his skin tone? Does this look right? I'm a little bit worried here. Did I go too dark? Did I leave enough highlights? What's going on? But as you can see with her, I've already forgotten to color inside of her glasses where her eyes are, so it makes it look a little weird. And as I was coloring, I completely could not see that. And this is one of the reasons that I frequently encourage people to walk away and come back to whatever you're doing, because you will look at it in a whole nother way, simply because you've had an opportunity to allow your eyes to readjust from being so close to the image all the time. So I'm finishing up with his skin tone, again forgetting to do his eyes, and once we get done with that, I will go in and I try to do some coordinating with their outfits just to bring some cohesiveness with the image. Also, I'm noticing now that initially I forgot to color in her neck and her chest area where her shirt wasn't as well. These are things that I think are very imperative for us to understand, that hindsight is 20/20, because of course when I'm doing this, I had no idea that I was missing all of these pieces and parts. I was just simply too close to the area. So once we get done with him, I'm going to go back in now and color in her skin outside of her face, and try to do some shading underneath her neck, as well as where her shirt touches her skin, because those are the areas that I felt like would cast a shadow, and then just trying to blend that out so that I can get a seamless blend into her skin. Once I get done with that part, then we will move into coloring his shirt, which I used some BG markers to do, and then her shirt as well. So what I chose to do was the color that I used for her shirt, I used for the peace sign on his shirt, just to kind of try to coordinate some of these colors a little bit and to make everything seem pretty cohesive as I was doing it. Now, when I color, I'm usually one of those people who is very conservative when I go through my first round, and I'll typically come back and do a second round of coloring just to kind of get everything blended and the shadows and the highlights where I want them to be. So I'm not so heavy on my darkest color when I initially begin doing any of my coloring, especially when I'm doing skin and hair. I usually like to go back in a second time and go through and add in a little bit more depth and dimension, as you can see I'm doing right here with his shirt. Now that I have some color on the page, I can see better where I want shadows and more depth to be, as well as when you build up your color, it gives you an opportunity to blend a little better. Or at least in my case, or my thought process, right? Right. So I'm going to bring in an RV combination. And the RV combination will be the combination that I'm going to use for her shirt and for his peace sign. So again, doing the exact same thing. I started out with my lightest color and I used that to map out my darkest areas. Then I'm coming straight in with my darkest area, and I am going to work my way down, and I'm using a 4-color blend. And with the RV markers, they're getting close to those R's. I don't like for them to bleed out, so I try very, very hard to be conscious of how much ink I'm putting down on the paper, because after all, they are alcohol and they will spread, and I don't want to end up outside of the line, because they are not so easy or friendly when it comes to trying to correct mistakes with those colors. So I just went in and tried my best to blend everything out on the first try, and just came back in to add just a little bit more of depth and dimension to her edges and those places that I wanted to be my shadows. Once I get done with that, then I will move into doing the peace sign on his shirt and the patches that are on his left and right arms. I use those same color combinations to complete those areas as well. Once we get done with that, I am going to go ahead and go into working on that pretty awesome looking van. Is it called a Winnebago? I think it might be called a Winnebago. I don't know. If you guys know, tell me in the comments below. As you guys know, I love comments from you guys, because I love interacting with you all in the comment section. I go through and I read all of my comments every time, and I love getting to know you guys as you guys are getting to know me. So that's one of the things that I think I look forward to the most of creating videos, is the comments that I get from you guys. So I always try to throw out little questions or ask you guys things just to get the interaction going when I am doing my videos. So if it's your first time and you've never seen me before, I thank you for your time. I hope that I provide you with something that interests you, and you will come on over to my channel and subscribe, and I will have the ability to show you even more things in the future. Now, for you guys who don't know me, this is my very favorite purple combination, and purple makes an appearance in my cards on a very frequent basis. So I decided that I was going to use it for this van. I'm going to call it a Winnebago, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. And I am going to just color that in. Now this, although it seemed like it was a small image, it had a lot of real estate. It had a lot of open space for me to color with. So I'm going back in a second time, and I am just going to extend some of those colors that I used the first time, because again, I was very conservative when I was doing it initially, because I wanted to ensure that I could get all of the colors of my 4-color blend into this Winnebago. So then I'm going to bring in that blue combination, and I am going to bring that into the van to again try to coordinate it with the colors that I used for the individuals down at the bottom. I'm trying to ensure that everything is all tied in neatly, it's cohesive, and it all makes sense. So I try to use my color combinations in multiple places so that it seems like it's supposed to go together. I don't know whether I always do a great job at it, but I definitely give it a good college try. Then I'm going to just use that RV combination to do the strip that is going across the center of the Winnebago. And again, you know, the purpose of that is just for that cohesiveness. I am then going to bring in some of my Jelly Rolls sparkle pens. I'm going to bring in the Stardust one, and I'm going to bring in the metallic gold so that I can do the wheels, the lights around their glasses, and the windows inside the Winnebago. So once I get done with that, it will pretty much be all of our coloring. This was not super labor intensive, but it was a good amount of coloring, and it was very fun. I'm using that gold metallic to color in all the windows. I felt like it would give a nice amount of shimmer and shine to my cards. My other thing that I am a huge proponent of is lots of shimmer and shine, and making sure you throw in a couple of embellishments on your cards. I love all the sparkly things. I'm very much so a lover of the pretty things in life. So I'm just going around and filling that in with that gold gold metallic Jelly Roll pen. And then I am going to use that one to do the frames of her glasses. I used the silver for his glasses, and that will pretty much be the end of our coloring. So this is what we come up with when we are done. And because these are really, really simple images, I'm going to just fussy cut them out. Now we have our panels that we used a little bit earlier, and they are dried at this point. And I decided to take a ton of those little pieces and parts and to just make a background using different colors of embossing powders and just scattering all of the little images around this front panel. So I'm going ahead and I'm just working on placement and figuring out where I want each and every one of them to be. And then I'm going to bring out a rainbow assortment of my Ranger embossing powders. I hoard embossing powders, and it was very nice to have an opportunity to use multiples of them at one time. So I have the red, I have the orange, I have this sunflower yellow, which is a Wendy Vecchi one, and then I have the leaf green, I have blue, and I have my purple. So I'm going to use all 6 of those colors. Now, hindsight, I might not have done this because the majority of it gets covered up, but this was what was in my mind when I thought about this card, and I really, really loved the idea. This could be a background all in of itself, but after I get done with this, I'm going to cut out a large portion of it, and we're going to have our images over the top. So you don't see a ton of this once it is done. So this is one of those parts that possibly in the future would I have left it out? Maybe. Simply because so much of it gets lost in the end of the card. But it came out really, really pretty. I loved it, and I absolutely love the style of this box. It was absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if this box is still in stock at the time of this video. I received it, I believe, early July. So I'm going to take that peace sign, and here is where I start doing my slicing. I'm going to slice out the majority of the center of that panel, and I'm going to back it with one of these tie-dye cardstocks that also came in this kit, and it will just peek through the back behind the peace sign. So this is kind of what that will look like once I get it all glued together. And so you can kind of see that a lot of the images are starting to go away. So I went ahead and I cut that down, and I glued the cardstock from the paper pack on top of the watercolor, and then I inserted the peace sign back inside. So now that we have this part done, I'm going to go ahead and cut out all of my images, and this is where my two people, my lady and my man, will go on the front portion of the card like this, and I am going to add foam tape to them just to give them a little bit of dimension and pop them up off of the card. I felt like it was looking a little flat, and then I just start working on how I want this to lay out, and then I bring in the elements for my sentiment. Now, all the papers except this bottom one, this bottom is some shimmer paper from Cricut, but all the other colors came in the kit. It had a rainbow assortment of cardstocks, and I just used my Sure Cuts a Lot software to create multiple sized shadows, and I created a sentiment that said good vibes on the inside my Cricut Design Space software, and I cut that out with some holographic vinyl. So we have the holographic vinyl that we're going to add to that red piece, which is the smallest of the shadows, and then we will have them stacked, and I will glue them all together, and this is kind of what that will look like when we're done. So after I get everything glued down for the sentiment pieces, I am again going to work on doing a dry fit to figure out where I want my images, my lady and my male, to sit on the front of the card. So again, there's a lot of the background that is about to be covered up using the good vibes sentiment as well as the two people. So if you can see, now is kind of where I'm looking and saying, did it make sense for me to do all of that heat embossing? I'm not sure. In the end, we are left with just a couple of the images peeking out, and I do love how it came out. I just don't know if I would have done it hindsight. So this is what our front panel is looking like so far, and the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to put some glossy accents inside of their glasses in order to give the effect of glass. Now, don't put your finger in the glossy accents like I do, because I have a problem and I never ever can do glossy accents or nouveau drops without putting my fingers in it. I had my Cricut write a sentiment on the inside of my card, and it says, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And I put the Winnebago at the bottom of this, and that was a sentiment by, or a statement by, yeah, I'm going to blank on that too. So if you know, trivia question, let me know in the comments below. Now I'm going to go ahead and mat each of my panels onto some purple cardstock, and then I'm going to use a double mat, and I'm going to use some of this holographic craft board by Cricut. And as you can see here, I just put that in the wet glossy accents. Of course, that's just what I do. So I will have to fix that, and then I will go ahead and double mat my panels because I am a double matter. I love having a very thick card. To me, it gives some significance to your card. I love a heavyweight card. That is my personal preference, but of course you could do whatever it is that you want to do, because when you make a card, the beauty of it is that it's handmade and it is yours, so you're able to do whatever your heart desires. So once I get everything matted, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in my card base. So my card base is going to be a 5x7. Another fact about me, I very infrequently make any card other than a 5x7. Typically, if I make something that is outside of the 5x7, it is a slim line, just because I don't feel like I have a lot of room to play on an A2 sized card base. And that is our card. This is what we came up with. I absolutely love it. Again, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much, Cassie, for allowing me to take over your channel. I really, really appreciate it. You guys make sure you're checking the description box so that you can enter the Rafflecopter and hop along with me next week on Multiplicity Crafts YouTube channel. I will be there next Saturday to announce the giveaway from this week and to bring you guys another project. I hope to talk to you guys again really soon. Bye-bye.